For lesson 109, we're going to talk about corresponding parts and similar figures. So, corresponding parts. If we have two similar figures, so two figures that are the same, they might not be in the same position, they might be rotated, translated, reflected, whatever, but we have parts that correspond. So if we look at our 90-degree angle in both of these triangles, okay, I know it's not perfect, but we're going to say these are similar, they're just turned and whatnot. But notice that angle A is going to correspond to angle X. Then we look at angle B over here. That's going to correspond with angle Y because they're along that shorter side of that triangle. Okay, angle C corresponds to angle Z because those are the angles that are left, but we can see that. Not only can we say that angles correspond, but we can say segments correspond. So segment AB, the smaller segment, corresponds with segment XY. When we write them, you have to put them in the same order from the one triangle to the other. So we said AB, so we need to go XY. Segment BC corresponds with segment YZ. Segment AC corresponds with segment XZ. So if shapes are similar, that means they're figures that have the same shape, but are not necessarily the same size. If they're congruent, they're going to have the same shape and the same size. So these two triangles are congruent. I want to know what the perimeter of each one is. Now, if they're congruent, they're the same size. Okay? So this longer side is going to be 5 inches here. I can just look over here. The shorter side is going to be 3 inches. I can add them up. 5 plus 4, 9, 10, 11, 12 inches. My perimeter is going to be 12 inches. Here, these two triangles are similar. I want to know the measure of angle A. Okay? So notice angle C is at right angle. And angle A is coming off that tall side of our triangle. So the tall side here, that angle is 30 degrees, so angle A needs to be 30 degrees. And angle B would be 60 because that's coming off that smaller side. The two rectangles below are similar. What is the ratio of corresponding sides? And by what scale factor are we going from the big triangle to the little triangle? And so if they're similar, our ratio, we can look one side to the other. So go from the big one to the little one. The side that's going up and down is 2 here, it's 1 on the other side. Okay? To make sure that my ratio is 2 to 1, I look at the length, it's 4 to 2. If I reduce that, it's 2 to 1. So my ratio is 2 to 1. Okay? And now it says by what scale factor am I going from ABCD to EFGH? Okay? My scale factor is going to be 2 because I have to multiply everything from here to here by 2. So our scale factor is just what are we multiplying to go from one rectangle to the other. So go ahead, do the practice set. Make sure you bring any questions you may have to class.